my friends, in this video I want to show you how to mix heavy guitars with 3 free plugins. I'm gonna show you in a simple way how you can achieve good guitar sound on a metal mix. I wanna go over the free tools that I use to do this. My approach is very simple. You don't need my DAW to do this. This is a workflow that I use on 90% of my mixes. It is proven for me. It works all the time. I think that we don't need to overcomplicate things when it comes to mixing. My goal here is to break it down for you in a very simple way so that you can achieve better results faster and using free tools, of course. My name is Amner Hunter from amnerhunter.com, the place where you can get tons of free resources, content, and tools for music production and guitar. Thank you very much for being here and welcome. Before we dive into the content, my friends, I would like to invite you to my website. I have some cool freebies for you. I have a couple of PDF ebooks, one for music producers, the other one for guitar players. I have a set of tools such as presets of some plugins, also a super package of guitar impulses, among other cool utilities. Make sure to check out my blog, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. All of the applicable links are going to be down below in the description and first comment, so let's get to the content. I'm here in my session in Cubase. As I said before, you don't need this DAW to follow these steps and to follow this approach. I have this metal mix here and we're going to focus today on the rhythm guitars, alright? All of the rhythm guitars in green that you see here are being sent to this guitar bus or this guitar group track. Before we start to add any plugins, my advice is that you need to create a well-balanced mix right here with the faders and panning. Without the proper volume of each instrument, nothing that you do afterwards with plugins will work. The guitars are being panned hard left and hard right. This is a stereo group track here. Let's check out how this song sounds for you to have an idea what's going on with the guitars also. As you can hear, it's a very good guitar tone, very heavy, very dense. I love this guitar tone, but there are some things that we can do to improve this guitar tone in the overall mix, right? It sounds awesome on its own, but what matters is how it will work in context of a mix. As I'm listening to this guitar tone, I can hear some high frequencies that are a little bit annoying. I can also hear some frequencies on the low end that are like rumble. It's a lot of build up in the low end when the guitar is being palm muted. Mostly we can get rid of that in a very simple way. We need to control that in a mix, especially on metal guitars where we have very extreme drums, extreme bass, vocals, stuff like that. We need to control that. So the first plugin that I want to show you is a saturation plugin. Most of the saturation plugins, if you use them on high gain guitars, it will soften the tone. They will make the tone warmer. They are gonna be adding harmonics and subtle saturation. Let me show you with the frequency analyzer what a saturation plugin can do for a guitar. For instance, the free amp from the company Clever is a saturation distortion plugin. Look at what it does to the signal. I'm gonna turn off the plugin so it's flat. If you add this plugin, it will make this to the equalization of the guitar. It will take out some frequencies here that are kind of nasty and harsh. You don't need to increase this control. As you see here, the mix knob is at 0%. So just by adding this plugin by default and lowering the mix knob till 0, this is what it's doing to the guitar. So for instance, in harsh guitar tones, this will work because it will make the guitar sound not harsh, not very piercing to the ear, which I think this guitar tone has. Let's check out what it does to the guitar tone. as you see, when I engage the plugin, it automatically takes a little bit of air out of the equation, a little bit of those high frequencies that sounds like air. It's a little harsh to the ear. This is the first thing that I do here. I will leave you also this option, the pre-FET. The moment you insert it on a track, you don't need to do anything really. You can have the drive knob at 0. Let's check out what it does to any sound. You see here this curve here? It's softening the high end. It has this filter and this curve. So as you see here, it's flat with the plugin off. And if I turn it on, this is what it does to anything really. But in high gain and distorted guitar tones, this actually will improve the tone a little bit, I think. Let's check out how it sounds. Let's check out how it sounds in context of the full mix. The turning pointers now. We watch the sirens fall. When the sun starts to rain. I think it sounds better in this way. It's the tone is a little darker. It's not very bright as before, but I think this will improve your guitar tone in the mix. This is the first plugin that I use. Next, I like to use this free equalizer from Melda Production. It's called Equalizer. This equalizer is great, I think. This is my go-to equalizer most of the times. It's very useful because it allows you to listen only what you're affecting. It can isolate only the frequency that you're affecting. With 3 simple moves, 4 at the most, we can do a lot for this guitar tone. Very simple. We can get rid of some low-end information here and some high-end information here. I will put here a high-pass filter, right? As you see here, we can cut up to 80, 90 hertz, sometimes 100 hertz. We don't need that in the mix because it's taking out space from the bass and the kick drum. So let's check out how it sounds. If you engage the auto listen mode here, you can listen only what this filter is doing. You can do other cool things. You can change the slope, right? With this option, you can choose different types of slope. I choose most of the times slope 1 or 2 to get rid of some low end. We watch the sirens fall when the sun starts to rain. As you see here, when I engage the plugin and we are listening the bass and the guitar, it gives a little more space to shine to the bass guitar. This ironically makes shine the guitars as well. It gives a little more space. Another thing that I would do here is to put a low pass filter, right? The opposite at around 10,000 hertz, 9,000, 10,000. Let's check out what's doing there. The guitar sounds cleaner, sounds more clear to my ears anyway. We lost some volume here. We can compensate maybe 1 decibel just here at the output to compensate for the volume that we lost by getting rid of these frequencies. Another thing that I like to do on heavy guitars such as this is hunt further for some harsh frequencies. In this case, I think the guitar tone has tons of top end. So I'm just gonna hunt for frequencies in this way. I'm gonna disengage the auto listen mode here. I'm gonna put a narrow curve and I'm gonna hunt for some harsh frequency or frequency that gives air to the guitar. It's cool to do this in context of a mix. Most of the times it's around here at around 3 to 5 kilohertz. Most of high gain guitars will have some annoying frequency around here. I'm gonna pull down this band here. As you can hear, this automatically takes some air out of the guitar and makes the guitar cleaner with more definition. Let's check out in context of the mix. Let's check out what we have here with all of these 3 moves that we have. I can hear more clarity between the instruments. This frequency right here that I cut, it was competing a little bit with the vocals or with the cymbals. So when I got rid of this, it gave everything more clarity, which is the goal here. The last plugin that I use here on this mix, I like to use a limiter instead of a compressor, and I want to explain you why. As you see here, high gain and distorted guitars are already compressed. If we get closer here, we can check out that the waveform is pretty flat, right? It has some peaks here and there, but most of the recording is pretty flat. That's what distortion does, right? It compresses the signal to a point of saturation. So we don't need, I think, compression. Instead, I like to use a limiter at the end of the guitar chain. It's just to control the dynamics, but only when the guitars are being palm muted. Only when the lower strings are being hit with palm muting. That's where a lot of low-end information is out of the place, out of control there. This can be damaging to your mix. Let me show you very quickly, very simple, how I control this in the mix. What I like to do with this limiter, by the way, this is like a copy of the Waves L1 limiter. This is free. This is called Loud Max. I like to link the threshold and the ceiling. I lower one and the other one gets lowered. I'm gonna engage here this ISP intersampling for a better quality. What I do here is I lower the threshold and also I'm lowering the ceiling. Means that the signal, it's not going to get through this ceiling. I'm gonna play the guitar and I'm just gonna hunt for the peaks when the guitar is being palm muted. As you see here on this meter, when the guitar does those chugas will be reduced and will be cut. That's controlling low-end information that will not work in the context of the full mix, especially metal mix with kick drum and bass guitar. They will work better together in the mix. This gain or volume that we lose by doing this, it's not noticeable, right? I'm gonna disengage the plugin and engage it again. You will listen pretty much the same perceived volume. There's not like a loss in perceived loudness. That's because it's only clamping down only the heavy shocks and the palm muting. If we lose some volume, some loudness, we can go ahead and boost a little bit the volume with this control. Let's check out how this guitar sounds with the plugins and without the plugins in the context of the mix and also in solo. That's my approach, my friends. Those are the tools that you need to get a pro guitar sound and rhythms in a mix. I think with this basic simple approach you will get amazing results. Let me know down below in the comments, my friends, what you think about this approach. It's pretty simple, it's a pretty minimalistic approach. I always try to make things simpler. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about these free tools. And don't forget to go to my website amnerhunter.com, where I have some freebies for you. I have a couple of PDF ebooks, one for music producers, the other one for guitar players. I have a set of tools such as presets of some plugins. I also have a super package of guitar impulses, among other utilities. Make sure to check out my blog, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. Thank you very much for watching the video, my friends. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you on the next one. Alright, take care.